What's up, everyone? It's your girl from Channel TFD, back again with another video. We are discussing many things what's going last 2-day Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark fouls now. First, things are heating up. ESPN's Monica McNutt is facing some serious backlash after her wild comments about Caitlin Clark that have everyone talking about race in the WNBA. Monica McNutt just went off on a rant about the double standards between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, especially after that flagrant foul and the WNBA's investigation. But before I break it all down for you, let's hear exactly what Monica had to say. Check this out. Roll the footage.
I think folks that truly love the game of basketball need to be mindful. You need to respect the humanity of these women, whether you are Team Clark or Team Reese, although you can certainly be both, right? The aftermath, the fact that the WNBA has to put out a statement because of racist comments and unsafe conditions toward Angel Reese. Like, I just want people to be mindful that whether you like it or not, anytime something happens with the two of them, one is automatically put as a victim and one is automatically put as someone who needs to be saved, when in reality, both are excellent competitors. They both said this was a basketball play. Now, Greeny, let's be honest. If this was the other way around, oh, Lord, you can only imagine how the conversation would have gone.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And when you think about this circumstance in this day and age that we're in, a lot of people project their own subjective feelings on these ladies as, you know, people that have gotten to know them. They just want to compete at the highest levels. Once the play was over, they were on to the next. But I lastly say this, when it comes to racism and the hateful rhetoric and the statement that the WNBA is saying, I think it's important because at the end of the day, if you are truly a basketball fan, you would understand and agree. We have no space in our game for those types of comments, and also not, you know, putting more gasoline on the fire in a circumstance where we're here to appreciate the beautiful basketball. That's all Caitlin and Angel want you to do. Why not just continue on that?
So that was the moment over the weekend. Again, somewhat overshadowing, I think, unfortunately, Caitlin Clark having this enormous first game. We'll watch where it goes from here.
You know, I always say take ESPN reports with a grain of salt, especially when it comes from personalities like Monica McNutt. She reported on the WNBA investigation that came up yesterday, but the real issue was in the way she framed it. Most people aren't living on Twitter or scrolling Reddit all day. They're not on YouTube watching creators break things down from all sides. For them, ESPN is the news. So when Monica brings up the WNBA releasing a statement about racist remarks and unsafe conditions, she presents it like it's established fact, without clarifying that these are allegations, and a lot of them have already been debunked or at least heavily disputed. That's the part that's frustrating. No mention that these claims might not be true. No mention that this all stemmed from viral narratives online. Instead, it's just stated in a way that leads people to believe it all definitely happened. It's just wild that this whole thing blew up after the very first game of the season. Like, seriously? First game? And of course, this isn't going away anytime soon. This storyline is going to linger for a while. But hey, the Fever and Sky are playing again this weekend at the United Center, so I'm definitely curious to see how that plays out. That said, I do think it'll settle down. Angel Reese already said in her post-game that it was just a basketball play. Caitlin Clark backed that up too. She didn't point to anything beyond what happened on the court. So hopefully people can move on and let the game speak for itself. Now, there was one other video that aired on ESPN, and honestly, ESPN should be ashamed of themselves. I know, expecting accountability from them is a long shot at this point. Stephen A. Smith? He should be ashamed too. But let's be real, he doesn't do shame. That's not in his playbook. But alright, let's just dive into this nonsense. We're gonna take a listen together, break it down, and call it out for exactly what it is, because this type of reckless reporting and commentary has real consequences, especially when it comes to the WNBA and the narratives surrounding players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
I'm the elder statesman of the crew here compared to this crew because I'm older than all of y'all, all right?
Combined.
And obviously obviously as a black man, I've had certain experiences. As black people, we've had certain experiences, but black men, we speak to it on a more intimate level in certain respects. I applaud the WNBA for their statement. Got no issues with it. I get where both of y'all are coming from. Y'all 1,000% correct. I don't disagree with a syllable that y'all have.
I really want you to take in everything I just said. Listen carefully, because after all that, Stephen A. Smith applauds it. He applauds the lie. He applauds the smear campaign. He He's actually celebrating the fact that the WNBA is targeting innocent people. And for what? Based on zero evidence. This is totalitarian behavior, plain and simple. It's madness. The league is out here trying to paint an entire fan base as problematic, with no proof, no receipts, just because the accusation sounds serious enough. That's it. That's the standard now. Well, what happens when Fever fans start turning the tables? When they start making accusations of their own, accusations that carry weight. What's the WNBA going to say then? People are already talking defamation. I'm hearing rumblings of a potential class action lawsuit over this mess. So maybe, just maybe, the league and its media defenders should slow down, take a breath, and back off before this spins way further out of control.
But I'm not as bothered by this as most people. Let me tell you why. Not bothered by this because I love when folks are stupid enough to show themselves. You see, what we need to worry about. Remember, as they say, you can have cats in sheets. We see them coming. And they said, no, just take off the sheets. Some folks said, just take off the sheets. We're just going to put on a suit and infiltrate and look like everybody else. So ultimately, a wider scope of people can be contaminated because you don't know who is who. See, that's what's been happening in a lot of situations. And a lot of times when we see stuff politically, sports-wise, corporate-wise, etc., what we've missed along the way is fall back and let people show you who they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're lamenting, and one of the things that concerns me at times is sometimes we don't need to lament it. We need to pause, stand still, chill, and let them come. Because the more you show who you are, the more you're going to find out who really, really stands with us and who really doesn't. The WNBA stands with us because they put out that statement immediately. The NBA would stand with us because they put out that statement easily. You'd have players, male and female, coaches, assistants, executives, team owners, etc. Who's going to speak up? Who's going to be quiet? What you going to say? And why don't you say more? Or why are you saying less? These kind of things edify us and positions us to fight the real fights.
Sometimes I think the concept of projection was made just for Stephen A. Smith. Because honestly, Stephen A., you're revealing exactly who you are right now. You're not just part of the problem. You are the problem. The way you're celebrating this smear campaign against millions of innocent fans just because they don't look like you, is that really what it's about? But let's be real, it's not even about that, because plenty of people who do look like you are getting hit with the same ugly labels, just for being Caitlin Clark fans. And let's be clear, I'm not talking about skin color here. I'm talking about a mindset, a way of thinking that's infecting this conversation. There are plenty of people who look like Caitlin Clark who are also fueling this nonsense. That's what makes it so strange, because Caitlin Clark's fan base is actually incredibly diverse. I know this firsthand. I've talked to so many of them. Some love the current president. Some can't stand him. Some look like Stephen A., some don't. But the one thing they all share? They love basketball. They love watching Caitlin Clark play. And they don't want any of this drama in their sport. Now, some people say, just ignore it. Don't give them attention. But you know what? When we stay silent, it only gets worse. That's how things spiral out of control. I guarantee you, there are people out there who want the All-Star game moved, who want the Indiana Fever to turn against their own fans, who want Caitlin Clark to distance herself from her supporters. They'd love nothing more than for the Fever to play in an empty arena, all under the excuse of player safety. And now, we've got the WNBA launching an investigation into something that, let's be honest, didn't even happen, based on claims from someone who wasn't even at the game, who then scrambled to hide their posts. This is the kind of chaos we get when we let these narratives go unchecked. Now listen, Sheryl Swoopes was desperately trying to make a case on the Gil's Arena podcast that Caitlin Clark committed a flagrant foul against Angel Reese. But let's be honest, the guys on that panel weren't buying what she was selling. Not for a second. You could hear it in their tone. They were pushing back, questioning the logic, and rightfully so. It felt like Swoopes was just reaching, trying to twist a routine basketball play into something malicious. But the more she talked, the more it just didn't add up. This is exactly the kind of overreach that makes people tune out. You can have opinions, sure, but when you start bending reality to fit a narrative, you lose credibility fast.
On both sides of it, there ain't no damn flagrant foul, man.
That's not a flagrant?
It was.
Our foul?
It was a damn flagrant foul.
Angel's push was a lot harder.
Yeah, well,
Flagrant
it was.
foul, man.
Not the initial part, but Caitlin later on pushed her. It
I'm
was.
talking about the push before to get the Angel's push on
They've
number
called.
six.
They've called.
They just trying to get control of the game. That's not a
No, they
flagrant
weren't.
foul.
No,
It's not a foul.
they weren't
Refs.
trying. Listen, they've
Refs
called
don't get-
softer flagrant fouls in the NBA.
I said it's all soft.
So that's a flagrant foul.
That's not a flagrant foul.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
Okay, go back. Go back to
Go back to it.
go back to the beginning. Go
They're
back
trying
to
to
the
get
first
control
part.
of the game. And
Angel's foul right here. That's
Because of the reaction.
No,
harder.
Angel, she
Because of the
pushed her.
reaction.
That's more.
But they didn't call that.
Howard in the back,
Because
two
of the
hands.
reaction.
She did push her. They didn't call that.
Caitlin appears to be pointing out that call.
But hey, let me know what y'all think about all this in the comments. And keep those notification bells on, you know why? Because I'm bringing you the real, unfiltered news every time it drops. And like always, man, until next time, shake them haters off. I'm out here. Peace.